This is Men's Physique News, and this is Anthony Gilkes. So, Anthony, tell us about your Olympia. I mean, a lot of people have questions that follow you. We saw you first premiere, I believe, at the Tampa Pro, right?
Pro, yeah.
Tampa Pro. You came late into the season. You placed second there. A lot of people kind of had you one or two. I've heard. I was actually there. It was a really close call.
Yeah.
And then after that, you kind of had a few shows after that, kind of slid back in the placings. Obviously, not where you expected yourself every time, which is probably running to win the show.
New York was first, one or the other.
Now, what was kind of going on with your body? I know a lot of people had some questions. I know you also had to change a coach from last year or the year before that, transitioning. Kind of give us what went on and how your body was responding, and then how you recovered to have an amazing top 10 finish at Olympia.
Well, first going with the coach switch. Yeah, I just after Tampa, I did have a talk with Ariel Cuts, and
coach.
We had a good discussion. It was like he really felt he could have had me win that show. You know what I mean? So that really convinced me. And he was working with a couple of my friends, Cam Physique, Cam Harris. So we was all talking and things like that. So and he's very knowledgeable. That surprised me, and very hands-on and simple. That's what I like. Knowledgeable, hands-on, and simple. So it was a simple switch over. Dom was my old coach. Dom Super Slice is still my brother, still my best friend.
Great coach too, yeah. I know Dom personally, yeah.
Still my friend. I go out to Queens sometimes to train with him because he was my personal trainer and manager. Ariel definitely holds me to a higher standard. He wants me to be the best. He wants my best. He challenges my character and my pride. So that's one thing. I have.
Important.
And then unfortunately, after New York Pro, I caught the stomach flu from some bad tilapia, and then made my intestines inflamed. So everything I was eating was just sticking on me. Inflammation. But me as a person that didn't want to give up, so I just kept fighting through it. Went to the doctor.
Was that Chicago Pro?
Going into Chicago Pro,
gotcha.
Yeah. Because we were trying to get ready for Chicago after New York. I text Ariel. He was like, yo, I think you should just relax. And I text him for my head, bro, I can't give up. And he was like, okay.
I saw you in the back. You were determined. You didn't want to talk to anybody. You were just like, let me get this over with and do my job.
And faith played a big part because Steve Cal wound up winning, and it bumped me up the list. So even it was unfortunate for you. You had two guys in there. But so after the Chicago, I was fortunate for Steve Cal to win. And then my stomach flu finally went down, and Cuts told me, said, hey, just take a 2-week rest and we're going to pound it real hard for the last 6 weeks. I was like, all right. It took no weights, just drinking water, getting my blood work done, getting everything just set up. And we just blasted straight. And then everything didn't look, it looked on point. Because I went out.
Do you feel you liked your look better than the year prior, or do you feel like you still brought a better package, even though not feeling your best?
Even though not feeling my best, I think I brought the best package. You know what I mean? I was full, even though I had to work harder because of what happened. You know what I mean? I had to go 2 weeks of no carbs. You know what I mean? 2 weeks straight.
You don't miss those days as a competitor.
And went to train with Cam and watching him eat hot Cheetos and stuff like that. But everybody is different, you know what I mean? So going out there 2 weeks before, I got some water retention on me from the flight, and Cuss was like, listen, we got to push it. And, faith.
What'd you do to get the water off? Well, you don't have to answer.
The 2 weeks of, the 2 weeks of no carbs.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and cardio. But
did you do cardio? Yeah, obviously.
And I was so surprised how well Cuts adapted to my body. He took notes that I didn't know he was doing, and he had sent it back to me when we go, talk and discuss. So that was big for me also. And he was like, certain things work better for you, and we applied it. he told me to plan 2 weeks out. And I'm like, I never had that before. I always went, how my
us
body.
as coaches, like we sit there and manifest our
Yes,
guys.
he manifested.
And especially if we've worked with them a few shows like that you guys have already. So I guess I want to ask the question that everybody really wants to ask. What happened at Olympia? I know there was a little bit of controversy. I wouldn't say controversy, but I guess there was a bet lingering out there that people were wondering what was going on. I know it was a friendly thing. I know it turned into not so friendly. I think at the end of the day, you guys were just trying to build some hype up. We love it. I think us, especially from Men's Physique News and the guys that like to follow this stuff, I think we love it all to an extent, but it creates some fun in the league, and it's done right. But what happened there? I know there was
starting back like towards the Tampa, Louisiana show. Me and George had a bet. He said somebody was going to beat me, and the person didn't beat me, but he had to pay me on that bet too. And my response was like, how can you put this person up against me and look what I did to you in Olympia? So he took that like, oh, you crazy, you delirious and all this stuff. So
George is a competitive guy. I've thrown bets at George myself, so I know how he likes his bets.
So,
but you know what? I mean, it brings sometimes a little fun to the competition. I know you guys got a little, almost that prize money there was, I think people were getting more excited than the top 5 finish.
Yeah, but I got paid higher than the top 4 person.
Well, hopefully that's going to change for our sport soon. And I think
Shaniqua Grant, she put that out there, I think that was big. She wasn't even just talking about her division. She was talking about everybody under the lining of bodybuilding, that they deserve much more. So respect.
I agree. Especially, and I think, I got to be careful what I say sometimes on these platforms, but, I think the IFBB in the league is preparing for that. I think they listen to the competitors a lot, as you can tell, all the adjustments that they've made over the course of the years with the competing, the rules, the point systems. I'm excited to see it because as Men's Physique has definitely changed the competitions. And it also opened up a lot more coaching doors too, because not everyone wants to prep the bodybuilding division. It's tough. I mean, how much do we eat sometimes that when we're growing? Imagine what these guys are doing. So I'm excited about the division. And to go back to what you said, I think the division is going to start paying more. It has to, because you guys are drawing the biggest tickets. I mean, I hate to say, maybe not Olympia, but at the national shows.
The nationals and, little shows. And, a lot of the supplement companies like to use us nowadays because, people see, okay, I can kind of look like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's more mainstream. Bikini and wellness and everything else. And I hope they keep it that way. I think the only way it's going to stay that way is by the judging and the criteria that they are following each show through the pro ranks. If they keep on presenting these guys bigger and bigger and bigger, guys are going to keep on doing more and more stuff. If they want the girls drier and drier and drier and bigger, same thing. I think the only way we can control that is obviously through the judging and stuff like that, which it seems what Tyler is putting out there.
Tyler's putting out there
the Men's Physique division. Do you feel you fit that criteria exactly of where he's wanting a little smaller shoulders, more round cap, obviously a full chest? It's just aesthetically pleasing, not too big in the back. Do you feel you fit his description?
Well, before going into Tampa, right? I felt like I was right on the edge because I grow real fast off a little bit of food. So, and that was because, I was working with a bodybuilding coach. And now that I'm working with a coach that knows men's physique and knows how to manipulate my body and how to get me going, I think I'm fitting into that
division. So you're saying you're eating less now or more?
Eating less now, yeah. But I'm working just the same amount of intensity. And he's I was a person, if you sleep, somebody's beating you. Yeah. And he's big on rest, so I'm even growing more efficient without twice as much as work. So which
Yeah,
is
I mean, especially if you're not taking in the calories, rest is really important.
Mhm.
It definitely goes hand in hand with the development and growth.
Mhm.
Nice. So, what are your plans? I'm sure everyone's wondering when you're going to announce the show, what's
Okay.
coming up. What do you have your eyes set on for 2021 right now?
So we're prepping right now for June 5th, Miami.
Nice.
But I'm coming in a little bit tight and faster than I thought. So something might come in maybe late May. And then
New York Pro again, or
somewhere around that area, yeah. Somewhere
no, that was
around
a show you just missed the win there, right?
Well, my first time at the New York Pro, I was second, and then the second one was fourth.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
All right.
Last year was fourth. And
There's going to be, I heard we got Chiron maybe doing that again. I know he's doing Pittsburgh. I know you got, who is called, I know you got,
you got the monsters that coming in.
Hey, I didn't want to
That's
say
why
that.
I'm
I got
like,
a few.
that's why, I see all those 6 feet tall people. I go that way. You know what I mean?
I think the average height of the guys I have in that show are 6'3". Brett's 6'2.5", Akeem's 6'3", and Powell is about close to 6'4". And they're all above that 220 mark right about now.
It makes the sport competitive. You know what I mean? Because the only way you can actually beat a tall guy, from my experience, you got to be a little bit fuller and drier.
That's exactly, because they listen. I hate, hoping my guys ain't gonna be listening to this, but it's a lot harder to fill them out, especially even show day, to fill out those frames and how much they can eat. Especially a guy like Akeem and Brett.
Hakeem, Hakeem needed, when he was prepping with the guy in previous before you, they was talking about how they was searching for burgers to fill him out. You know what I mean? And
that don't even work.
Nope, it didn't.
I feed him 6 sushi rolls and he's hungry the next minute. So, I think New York Pro is going to be probably one of the better New York Pros I've seen in a long time this year.
I'm not there. I'm definitely going to go watch.
Yeah, a lot of heavy hitters going to be in that. Pittsburgh, we got coming up the Wasatch Warrior show. I think that's going to be Chesner, right? You got him doing New York Pro, and I believe even Pittsburgh and Washington.
Because he placed second in New York Pro to Aria last year.
Yep. Aria Save, yep. And I believe he's going on a run in April and May. That's his goal. One of the other guys that finished in the top 10. Big fan of his physique too. But, is posing. Nobody else is doing it. I like it. It's why does everyone think you can't do a little classic bodybuilding? There's nothing that ever says you can't.
Tyler did put something out like a few months ago, or just before the Olympia, like with Raymond, was like, this is how simple I want you to do it. But you see him, doing his posing. It looks good though. Don't get me wrong. When he do it, it looks fire. But
hey, it got him in the top 10
right.
the world.
And my show after Miami will be Puerto Rico Pro in the Bahamas too.
Gotcha.
I love Tim Gardner.
It's going to be a good show as well. Tim Gardner puts on a great show. All his shows.
I try to at least do one of his shows once a year.
I mean, he got the Tampa. He's involved in the New York Pro this year, co-promoting this since it's in Florida.
Nice.
He's got Puerto Rico, San Antonio, Chicago, which I love the Chicago show, and obviously Tampa. I mean, Chicago and Tampa. I think those up with New York Pro and Pittsburgh. Those are the 4 top shows to ever win I believe, in the men's physique division. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. And Pittsburgh, like all his shows is just so well organized. They're fun. We get, we feel like we're really athletes. You know what I mean?
Good. Yeah, he's a good guy. One of the sponsors with him. So that's good to have in your corner.
So, I ain't going to say nothing, but
hey, listen, very important for coaches to invest, and that's the way I always tell my athletes, by sponsoring shows and having our logos up there and giving back to the league. It's really good to see the coaches doing that. So it's good to see Cuts doing that. Obviously some of the big names like Body by O, and you always see them up at there. So obviously good things happening for Cuts as he's growing, and he's really had an explosive last 2 years. So
yeah, he definitely growing.
Got to give Omar a run. Us guys got to come up and
I know
challenge Omar this year.
Challenge. O's the reigning champ. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and now Brandon Hendrickson is with, I believe, is it Neil Yoda?
Yeah, Yoda. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a big change.
Yeah, I was real happy for Brandon. I was like,
how did you feel about him winning it? Did you expect him to win it? Did you think he was one of your favorites?
I didn't expect him until I actually seen him, and I was like, oh man.
I actually expected him 2 weeks out after I saw his.
Because that happened in Olympia before, you know what I mean? He looked.
It did.
So I was just using that like, oh man, he looks great now. He looks phenomenal now. But look what happened before. But you don't.
Who was your favorite to win the show going into Olympia? Besides yourself, I'm sure you always want to win.
Yeah, of course. Him, Chiron, and I actually thought Dre was going to do better. Lucky.
I did too. I honestly thought that if Raymond lost, it would either be to Brandon or to beat Andre. And I thought Raymond had a great chance of repeating. I mean, he's a great champion. He's consistent. Yeah, he always brings a great package, him and Omar. And Brandon is just deadly. I love his shape.
Brandon was
for his height. I love the 5'8", 5'7", 5'9", because I'm a 5'9" guy.
Yeah.
They're compact and not too short. That 5'7" to 5'9". I mean, look at the champions: Brandon, Jeremy, Anthony. I believe was only 5'9". All those champions besides Raymond were all in that 5'7" to 5'9" range.
And it was real inspiring. Like on the stage, I'm looking at him getting chill bumps. Like, what the? Like when he was doing his back pose, you could see from his front, his whole rib cage was like gone, and you could see his erectors, everything. When he turned back, Brandon, yeah.
Listen, so, I think once I saw him out
into that show, I think
I kind of knew he wanted to prejudge it, in my opinion. Not to take anything away from Raymond's package. It's just, I think Brandon brought it 100% that day. I think either day, one of those guys are at their best, anyone can win, just like with Andre. You just don't know, and honestly, I was pulling for Andre just because, I think with his career and how well he's done.
Same thing here. I felt the same way. I
thought the guy's like, all right, man, he's definitely, in my mind, still a champion type guy. We know any of those years where he's placed second to Jeremy Buendia or I think he placed second twice, right? And once to Raymond. I thought that year he might have had it too. So
that was a year. It was phenomenal.
Unfortunate for him, but I don't see Andre going anywhere anytime soon. Do you? I think he's going to terrorize your division for many years to come.
And when he posts, I'm about to run that gauntlet, like everybody, I don't know. Some people get nervous, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say everybody do, but once he says he's running that gauntlet, you just know he's out there hunting, you know what I mean? He's out there. That's what I like about him.
He's made the division sport. Sport. I mean, he's made the division and the sport for us, men's physique, fun. I mean, some people listen. I've had my run-ins with Andre, but
I hate it or love it, but it's still.
Listen, man, it's all fun and games sometimes. I mean, I think all of us we move on from words and stuff like that, but I think what he's brought to the league is different, and what he's done over the course of his career. Right now, he's the all-time winningest men's physique competitor to ever live. So it's really hard to be able to discredit him in any way. The only thing you could say about the man is that he hasn't won the big one yet. He will accomplish everything. 3 Arnold titles. Will that ever be done again? Who knows? How many wins now? 6. It's like somewhere up in the teens. 16 wins. Will that ever be done? As the sport keeps on changing every year. You see, it's going to get harder and harder to walk into these shows. The shows are getting bigger. The guys are getting bigger, sharper. The coaches are getting better.
And the same thing that made me good was to watch him, the George, and them, and also Ciroc, to see how hard they work. So I knew I had to do double time or be more efficient, and that's what brought me up so fast.
Everyone knows if Anthony's showing up to show, that could be one of the top 5 spots taken, especially when you're on, probably the show.
Mhm.
So does that make you nervous going into a show that you have such high expectations from your peers and from kind of the audience and the fans?
It's more motivating because I know they depend to see a certain Anthony come out there. So I just want to bring that Anthony on better each time. So it's more motivating than nervous.
Gotcha. It would make me a little nervous. I'm not lying.
You know,
Yeah.
after Tampa, I did feel a little nervous because I'm like, man, I thought I had this one, you know what I mean? And then,
You feel
okay.
more pressure once you didn't place where you wanted at Tampa?
Mhm.
Did you feel
Yeah.
more pressure to even do better at Olympia?
Yeah, I felt more pressure. And then, we had the bet going, and then I had other things in my ear.
The bet again. Yeah, we got to close out on that topic.
A lot
So
of
would
people
there be
think
another bet? Can I put it out on here on Men's Physique News? Would there be another challenge? Will you give him a rebet?
I give him a rebate. I'm from New York. We bet all day. We
All
bet.
right, yeah, New York.
You know what I mean? And yeah, it was just a fun situation, you know what I mean? And then I have a lot of peers who hit me up that motivates me almost every other day, from like Carlos, from other teams, Carlos, who else? Cam, Brian,
A lot of guys out there.
Mike Workout. So we're all like motivating each other to bring the best package, because if we're going into a show with each
Mike's
other,
a great guy for the league.
yeah. Mm-hmm. If we all going in a show together, Charjo as well.
Yep.
Like that whole group we kept together, me, Charjo, Clarence, because we was just running and running and
That's
running.
good people.
And we was like, yo, we see you next week. We see you next week. So it was definitely motivating in that. And not a lot of people know how motivating we are to each other. Well, that class of people. You know what I mean? So
Well, they say you guys are the new wave. Charjo, you, Clarence had a great year, 2020. I mean, that man did not stop competing. I was like, how are you doing all these shows? Slow down.
right.
He just gets better and tighter and tighter. So really excited for him. I think he earned that Olympia invitation this year like no other. And then you got Cam. I love his physique.
Yeah.
You got a lot of good guys that even weren't even that top 10 yet, that honestly could have been in that top.
And Corey as well. Corey's another one.
Oh yeah, Corey's one of my favorite look. I mean, I love the unique looks too, but I also am a shorter type guy fan. But yeah, Corey's one of those tall guys like Raymond, like Akeem and Brett Mario. All those guys are just when they get into their fill out and they grow into their bodies like they are now, and like Raymond had. I mean, look how Raymond started. I mean, no one would have ever thought.
I think he was
Raymond would have been the next Olympia champion if you would have looked at where he started.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
the best transformation at any Olympian champion.
Mm-hmm. And his back.
Brandon's was pretty good too. Yeah.
His back is just wide. I think the only person with I think is Hakeem can get Raymond when it comes to width. Hakeem and
that's what we're planning for Pittsburgh. Those two stand next to each other again, like 2018, I think it was. Mm-hmm. I think that's our goal.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't even know if Raymond was going to do it. I know he had a lot of stuff go on personally this year, unfortunately. Prayers out to Dino and their family. What happened? That was tragic. And I got to meet Dino a few times, one at the Tampa and Olympia. So always a great guy, very respectful, seemed to be the life of the party. But prayers out to him and Raymond on that. And so you have your goals coming up, you have your show dates coming up. Before we get off, what is your goal for this 2020 Olympia? I mean, you going in there to take it this year or what? What is your goal?
My goal is definitely to try to place top 6. I want to place top 6. If I can win it, I can win it. I think so. Me and Cuts.
I mean, why don't you think it couldn't be you? I mean, with winning, being in the big shows like the Tampa, the New York. I mean, you're talking about all the biggest shows. You've had a chance.
It's a psyche for myself. Say I can't, but work just as hard to do it. It's just a psyche for myself. But I think
I'm a very conservative thinker myself.
Right. And my strong suit, I think, is my back and my chest. So just working on that to even out my shoulders and my caps and just keep the same, better conditioner. So once that works, so yeah, definitely aiming for top 6. A win is a win would be great, but definitely.
Well, listen, man, we appreciate you getting on with us today. We're doing our top Olympians interviews from now until the season. We have the big Tim Gardner posing seminar March 27th. I don't know if you're going out to that, but a lot of the
In
pros,
Miami, right?
yeah, a lot of the pros. I was actually going to call you about that because we decided not to do ours and attend that for Tim Gardner.
Okay.
But yeah, big seminar coming up March 27th. About 90 pros are going to be there. Steve Weinberger is doing a mock show.
Okay.
Guys that are a couple
I just
weeks
seen Steve
out.
the other day. Yeah.
Yep. So
I
you
try
got
to go see
Steve.
him like once a week.
Got to see Steve, man. Steve's the man. Steve, JM's going to be there. Tim Gardner, all the big promoters, all the big coaches will be out there, and then 90 pros are going to be there. So it's going to be a crazy event. March 27th, that is, and that is in Miami.
Yeah. So I definitely try to come to that.
All right, man. Well, listen, great talking to you, and we'll do another follow-up hopefully after your next win.
All right. Thank you so much for having me, Mike.
All right, Anthony. Thanks, brother.